Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
Today we're going to do our review on Strange Darling from 2023. So it went through the festival circuit in 23 and it's getting its theatrical release here now in 24.
So make sure you guys are going to check this out in the cinema. It comes out in a couple weeks. A little non-spoiler synopsis of the film. Nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. So we're going to talk to you guys about our positives, our negatives, and then give you our final thoughts about Strange Darling.
So let's get into the positives. So this movie was shot entirely on 35mm film, which is amazing, especially in, the times now.
Completely unheard of today.
Yeah.
For a film, especially a feature.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of shorts and things like that, but
an entire film, that's really awesome, and I give them kudos for that.
Yes. This movie is based on a true story.
Very.
I can't find any reference to where this actually happened. I don't know if this is like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing where they're like, hey, it's based on a true story. When it's really inspired by Ed Gein. So obviously there's some inspiration of something out there.
Yeah.
I don't know how, and we can't even talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But it's based on a true story, and I like the idea I love when they do that because it always throws you into a, man, this is a little bit crazier now that I know this really happened.
Right. It's almost like they're trying to capture the whole.
Yeah, the mystique.
Yeah. So the cast is really great. Guys, Kyle Gallner has his shirt off, and you see his muscles.
They were beautiful.
They were very nice.
For the limited cast you get in the film, they're all very believable, and you have a lot of fun with these characters, especially throughout the first act.
It goes. You're thinking one thing, and then it goes another way.
It goes completely off the rails.
It's just it's really crazy, and you're just like, what is happening here?
It's extremely intense. This movie, the intensity that comes with this movie is awesome. There's a lot of balls to the wall action sequences. A lot of the action sequences throughout this movie, I was just like, damn, like that looked really, really good. So very intense throughout the entirety of the film.
The score really brings a lot to this film. Like he said, there's a lot of intensity, and the score just intensifies it even more. So, yeah, the score really... A score can make or break the film, and I say this all the time, but this one actually made it.
And not sticking with that, not the score, but the soundtrack. They have a great use of the song Love Hurts.
Yes.
And the way that they use Love Hurts throughout this whole movie, and it's not the Nazareth version. It's not the original version. It's its own new version. I can't think of who sings it right off the top of my head, but it's an acoustic ballad, folky ballad version, and it sounds really good. And the way they use it in the film is awesome. And there's a lot of amazing shots in the movie too. She's going to talk a little bit about the practical effects, but the way doing it on 35mm without the digital to go along with it, a lot of these shots looked really, really good.
Yeah, and the practical effects were awesome too. We get practical blood,
car sequences.
Yeah, car sequences. It's just a lot of practical effects, and that's amazing. 35mm film and practical effects. That's right.
I didn't see very much digital used at all throughout the film, even in post. And like I said, there's a lot of crazy car sequences, things like that. And again, we're trying to be as spoiler-free as we can. And even the kills look really good for what they did. So those are our positives of Strange Darling. Now we're going to get into some of our negatives of the film.
So the movie has chapters, and they don't go in chronological order, and you're shown a chapter, and then you might go back a chapter. I'm not really into the whole chapter thing. I kind of like a movie that just goes from point A to point B for the most part.
And especially those how you'll start at chapter 4, then go to 1, then over to 5, then back to 3, then back to... not my thing. I don't like chapters anyway, let alone when you're doing it. I would love to see a cut of this film where they cut it up and just do it from 1 to 6. I think that would be a really cool cut of the film just to watch and see how it goes. So another thing that I don't like is they have shots that linger on for far too long. You're watching and you're like, oh, okay, you can cut. You can go to the next scene now.
Which really makes it points boring. Like you're on this shot for so long, it's like they're doing nothing, and it's just like it's dragging the movie on longer for no purpose.
Right. Now, again, we're trying to be as spoiler free as we can. There really is this story's been done 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It does have a uniqueness to its twist, I guess you could say, but it's nothing that will blow you away.
Right.
If you're sitting for this film looking for an original movie, you're not going to get it. If you're sitting for this film looking for a unique take on a story and great performances of the story, this is going to be the film for you.
Mm-hmm. So I really wish we could have gotten things from a certain.
It's the main characters in the movie don't have names.
Yeah.
Kyle Gallner is the demon, and then she's the lady.
So from the lady, the things that she sees and gets cut away, we don't see that, and I really wish that we could have. I think it would have made things scarier.
Even just like a 5-second of what she's seeing.
Yeah. Like,
you know.
Yeah, just to kind of like get in her mind a little bit too.
Especially at the end.
Yeah.
I would love to see things from her point of view at the end of the movie. So those are some of our negatives. So now, guys, we talked about our positives. We talked about our negatives. Now we're going to give you our final thoughts and overall ranking of the film.
So the reason we don't want to spoil this for you guys is because we really think that you need to go into this movie blind. Yeah. The twist, like Ken said before, it's very unique, and we don't want to spoil that. Like you need to go into it and see it for yourself.
Right. And just on the performances alone.
Yeah.
And this movie does have real moments of dread and anxiety, where you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're wondering what's going to happen when that other shoe finally drops.
Yeah, and you kind of think it. At first, you're thinking it's going to be one way, and then it's something totally different, which is awesome. I do like that.
So overall ranking, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5, and that's based on the performances. The practical stuff is really, really good. I love the use of Love Hurts in this movie.
Yeah.
You'll always think of me when you hear this song. So I really do like that. And there's a lot of this movie that I really had a good time with, but the slower moments are just really, really grinding. And the jumping in chapters is another thing that I feel was, and I get it, like it is artsy to do that, and it is really cool to be able to tell the story in a different perspective. I understand it. It didn't work in this film for me. I think this would have been a better film if we just shot it in chronological order and went right in chronological order. Like I said, I would love to see a cut of the film where they did that. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5.
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Like Ken said, the performances are really great. Kyle Gallner, top notch. We've seen it, but not this way.
Right.
So it does have a unique, like...
It's a unique take on a story we've heard 1,000
right.
times.
That we've heard, or that's, really happened in real life. I don't know if this one really did, but I'm sure it did somewhere, right? So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. There was absolutely enjoyable parts of this movie.
It's a movie you guys definitely should check out for yourselves. I think that there's a lot to be said about the film, and I think eventually we will do a spoiler review. Let us know if that's something you guys would like to see. If you'd like to see us go a little more in depth and spoil the film after the release, we would love to do it if you guys would love to see it. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Say who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.